Maybe you've gone back to doing art or a hobby that you didn't have time to do when you were 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and more, as so many people are lost in their career, lost in their work. Maybe you've found time to reach out to people over the phone whom you might not have been in touch with otherwise. What has changed in your life since the lockdown, since COVID-19? What are you doing differently? What are you thinking differently? Where are your thoughts at? Where is your mind at in all of this? And we've got a caller on line one. In fact, I think we may have two calls. So we've got two people on one call. Hello, who's this?
This is Brenda from the United States.
Welcome. We love to have a caller from the United States. And who else is there?
This is Dardasha from United Kingdom.
Okay, we got Brenda and Dardasha. Guys, how are you feeling, Brenda? First, how are things in America? We are worried about our American friends because things are not going well.
It's so crazy.
Mm.
The Walmart. I don't know if you know about Walmart. Walmart is starting to do social distancing, so they're only letting in like maybe 20 people at a time. So a lot of stores are adapting that.
Mm-hmm.
It's madness. I just see that a lot of people are saying here in the United States that it's going to be a new world after this because people are going to look at things so differently now. I know I will. I'm not trying to touch anybody, hug anybody. And I do believe that we'll get control of this, but like President Trump said, a lot of people will die before. A lot of people are going to die before it happens. So we know in America that this is going to happen, and so we're trying to wrap our brains around that. But it's terrifying.
Dardasha, will it be a new world or a new world order, as Triple T is saying?
Well, we will all reflect on this differently as soon as this is over, and we'll all realize on what the things that we're going to appreciate the most. And I like your topic today because you're asking about what is going to be our life after this. So hopefully we all make this.
Yeah, go on, Brenda, coming back in.
Yeah,
go on, Brenda.
I have to go for a second. I'll call back in a little bit, okay?
No problem anytime, Brenda. You're welcome. Dardasha, hold the line.
Sure.
Don't leave me on my own during the pandemic. I'm all right. What's going to change? What's going to change? What's going to stay the same?
So hopefully, I really hope that we all make this time, all of us alive, us and our loved ones. But I really think that we will appreciate time to start with. We will really, give ourselves the time we need. We've been living in such a rush time, like, we're just running non-stop. And I don't know if this is only in the UK or everywhere else, but this stop has given us this time to realize what is happening in our life, what is really the essentials that we live to. And so far, I think the first thing I will appreciate in my life is the time that I've been giving right now to look at my child, to see my family, to see what are the priorities in my life, And what I hope that will happen after this is that would we really, as a society, learn how to change? Would we really feel for one another? Now seeing that we all have the same problem around the world, we all have one issue, we all are suffering the same problem. But would we really feel what is it like in other countries for those that don't have a job? Or, who feels weak, who feels scared all the time? Would we really feel for them?
Yeah.
Will that really change with us afterwards? Would we reflect and really care about one another? That's the question. Because this might have been, if some of us think that like a wake-up call, just to notice what's around us. But would we really listen to it? That's the question that I'm asking. I mean, I speak and I talk about questioning myself to start with, because I don't know what will I feel. And what really scares me now is that the fact that if someone doesn't make it now, the fact that you don't even have a decent funeral or have loved ones, if you are grieving for someone that you lose in the family, which is really, really sad timing for some people that have lost family members and so on. So
Yeah,
I really pray and wish that we pass this time, all of us together. We come out of this time stronger, but we also feel for one another globally, not just where we live.
Dardasha, well said.
That's a lot of reflection.
Thank you very much.
For me to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to Dardasha's channel, Dardasha. Dardasha means chatting in Arabic, and Dardasha is a multilingual channel, and you can learn some Arabic on there. Liam Bobrick is saying, how do you fancy a Bill Gates vaccine, Triple T? Yes, Bill Gates has apparently been working hard on the vaccine because he foresaw all of this a few years back. He was the one who told us that this might happen. And we've got another caller on line 1. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hi, Julian.
Hi. Welcome. Do you mind giving your identity?
Hi, it's Tarek.
Hello, Tarek. You're welcome. Welcome. How's it going, fella? Are you well?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. Luckily.
Good man.
Right.
What will your life be like after this? And what will the world be like?
I have to say, there's so much to touch on really with this topic. It's a great topic. One thing I wanted to say just before we jump into this topic is, unlike you, I shaved my head.
Okay. Well, I'm counting down to that. It's going to be sooner or later that I'll have to resort to a shaved head.
Yeah, I was going to suggest it as strangely, it's good. I haven't ever shaved my head before, but I thought we might be in lockdown for a
I can't imagine you with a shaved head. You'll have to send me a picture.
Yeah.
You're normally such a well-groomed guy.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. So it's kind of, I've used this kind of lockdown as opportunity to do different things that I've never done before. So shaving my head was one of them. And I recommend it, although it does take a long time.
What method did you use to shave your head?
I just used a trimmer.
A trimmer, okay. So not like to the bone.
No, but
not skin.
You can barely tell when it first. Like I said, yeah, I'll send you a picture. But yeah, it takes it right off. So there isn't anything left. But yeah, but touching on what we should do really moving past coronavirus, I think one of the big things that I struggle with a lot really is that the way we work, the way we make money.
Do you think a lot of people are going to realise that their job can be done online, or that their employees were not needed?
Yeah. Well, perhaps, but more looking forward, more than that, I mean, automation is coming. Regardless of how we think about it, it is the most natural way forward for business. And
should we fear automation?
If we don't prepare, like we didn't really prepare for this pandemic, then we are going to be in a world of pain, I think.
People feared the printing press would put people that used to sit there and write the book out of work, but it was something we needed, right?
Absolutely. And, as you're saying, a lot of jobs will be created from the technology made, the time available, the automation, with every step we take forward in this way technologically, so much opportunity is made available to us.
So a lot of jobs created and a lot of jobs destroyed?
Yeah, this is like the natural cycle. But the problem is that automation is, I think, different because it replaces us. It doesn't just enhance our ability to do something. It replaces us. And an automated workforce doesn't shut down. during a pandemic, during almost anything. And
Mm-hmm.
so, although I hate business in a general sense, I mean, you know me quite well.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. Looking at this, not just this pandemic, but just looking forward, you know, us running around doing all of the jobs that we do, you know, almost like ants, is coming to an end. And I think, you know, at a very basic level, we have to right now start fighting for things like, you know, UBI, which to many people still sounds like a fairy tale, you know,
And UPI is
UBI
universal basic income.
income. Right, yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, it's especially amongst right-wing circles, it's a ridiculous notion, really.
Well, if you get money for doing nothing, then the money has no value, right? Isn't that the logic?
Well, I mean, money has very little value anyway. Well, it has money and value in your hand, but
Well, the
it's
problem
just
is that because money has no intrinsic value, you can just print money, and then it becomes worthless in a sense, right? And it went
so
from
yeah, we
being
do have this
gold to
common.
paper to numbers on a screen. It's only
Yeah,
valuable because we
we have a
believe it
system.
is.
Yeah, I mean, they have worked out a system that if you print too much, you're right though. I mean, if you can print your own money, as we do, as America does, you've got a big advantage in the world. But essentially, you devalue your currency, and this is something that's always talked about up and down. But yeah, the markets, the way we do business, the way we work, is coming to an end, I think. And what I struggle with, and the reason I really called in, is because we don't see far ahead as a society, really.
Well,
And
Bill Gates
I'm really
did.
worried that we get stuck.
He
Bill Gates
predicted
is,
this.
I've no doubt he had some, I mean, he's worked in this field, in virus, well, whichever way you want to look at it, in virus protection and virus you
Production.
know, vaccines production, exactly, yeah, vaccines. It's, he has a sordid history, and the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation has issues, as you know, in India and
And
different
what is
places.
so
But I mean,
sordid about it? Because I've heard that before, but what have they done?
well, I think essentially, well, what happened was that because of a certain vaccine that they produced, it caused big problems in a certain population where it was used. And predominantly these vaccines are made for the third world, where they don't have protections against certain diseases, and they can ravage through populations there. So what happened, I think, I don't have all the details to hand, but it caused a problem in reproductive system of the children that was given to, and it happened in India. So my problem with that is that clearly there's not enough testing going on. I mean, I don't know how that can happen.
Who was it who described Africa as the testing ground for the coming vaccines? The president of Ethiopia was very upset about that.
Well, yeah, and it's,
Who wouldn't be?
you know, a lot of people have spoken about that. You know, even going back to apartheid times, people used to speak about that. So it's not, you know, there's so many different stories and so much evidence on different sides. It's really complicated. But, you know, I think just going back, I think we have to be really careful that we don't bamboozle ourselves into going back to normal.
Okay.
You know, everybody wants to get back to normal, which I understand. Nah, you know, God knows I want to get back to normal. But, you know, this lockdown for me hasn't been, this is going a bit of a tangent, but for me this lockdown hasn't been too difficult, you know. We've got internet, we've got electricity, we've got running water. You know, it seems risky. I do go shopping for the house, and it seems risky, but so far I've been doing it for 3 or 4 weeks, and touch wood, I'm okay. So I just think people really want to get back to normal, which is understandable, but we haven't gone through, you know, I just imagine that a different crisis where there isn't electricity, you know, where there isn't running water. Sometimes, you know, when you look at areas of the world that are afflicted by war, they have serious struggles. Now we are going through a serious struggle, and I think what I'm worried about is that, like this pandemic, we're going to walk into a whole set of problems that are only maybe 10 years away. I don't think they're much further than that. And this kind of everybody running to get back to normal. Personally, I wouldn't be running to go back to a job that has a boss with a company that you go and you think you're going to be there for the next 30, 40 years and, get a pension. There has to be some kind of change in
some
that.
life. Tariq, we're going to merge a call. Just hold the line. Hello, caller. You've got myself and Tariq on the line. Who's this?
Hi, Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. Welcome, Mac. Mac, Tariq is on the line with you, and he's apparently used to all of this. In the chat, Tariq 33X said this guy's probably used to being under house arrest. I don't know about that.
No, I wish. Not yet.
Good man. Well, Mac, what are you going to do as soon as this is over?
Well, this is again going back to one of my previous conversations.
Just don't mention the Qiblatain, please. I can't bear it.
No problem. The mirror. Look in the mirror and changing your lifestyle and realizing, obviously, eating right and looking after yourself.
Yeah. And you're going to start doing that as soon as this is over, right?
Well, no, I'm saying generally for people, yeah. I mean, I have to look at my smoking habit, obviously. That's the first thing. But in general, no, I was going to weigh in something completely separate. To do with global warming and why these diseases. This is a new theory I was just going to add in.
Great. Tariq, have you got 5 minutes to stay with us?
I'm happy to stay on, yeah.
Brilliant, because you might be good on this one. Tariq, if you don't mind me sharing, you have been a supporter of the Extinction Rebellion movement, right?
Yes.
So maybe there are some good things about the lockdown as nature is kind of recovering and there's less pollution.
Well, that's the thing.
Go on, Mac.
I was going to also weigh in about the melting of the ice. Well, that could unleash the old diseases as well. I mean, that's another reason why we're probably seeing a lot more diseases being released into the air, is because they were preserved in the ice. There was landslides or ice big blocks that are in the is it south, where it's the ice. I forgot what they're called. They're melting away. So that also uncovers. They're saying the theory is these diseases are re-emerging because of the melting of the ice. So that is another theory. I was just thinking, is that a possibility as well as being man-made? But like, cause people throw out so many theories, but we don't realize that Italy, or Venice, shall we say, every year there's a rise in the city. The rise in water. I mean, it's rising constantly. This is something that's why in Venice you see people instead of on bicycle, there's no streets. It's all on boat, and it's because of the ice melting and the levels of the seas are rising. But at the same time, that unleashes preserved illnesses. That it's a theory that they're saying. So do you think that's a possibility as well? That we're going to see more different type of pestilences?
Go on, Tariq.
Well, on the issue of possible viruses or pathogens in ice, they do test ice. I mean, quite a lot of expeditions are taken out into really thick ice areas, and they drill really far down to check. Really, they're checking for a variety of different things. They're not really checking for pathogens. And a lot of it is to do it's done for predicting changes in climate, changes in the makeup of what is underneath. So I don't know that might, it could possibly happen. I mean, for sure, we don't know a lot about the Earth. I wouldn't know too much about it, to be honest, other than people are out there quite a lot doing a variety of tests. On the issue of Extinction Rebellion and, the rising sea levels, for sure, we are, as I've spoken to you about before, Julian, Extinction Rebellion, unfortunately, has lost its veritas. I think it's lost its messaging as well. And that's no small part due to the variety of billion-dollar companies that are out there polluting the earth as we speak. The way that they are maligned is quite strange. If you think about it, I've been to Extinction Rebellion protests, at bridge closings, at certain events that are publicized, and a few events that never see the light of day, and you never hear about them. Like setting up bee farms, growing or planting trees. This is the kind of things that Extinction Rebellion does on a day-to-day basis. But all we ever hear about are the sensationalized stories, and without doubt, Extinction Rebellion is made statistics. It's not one entity. It's derived of millions of people, hopefully. And the issue really is that, as we've spoken about, is that we are devastating the populations of wildlife on this planet. It doesn't matter what you want to call it, climate change. We get stuck and we get hung up on different words, different names, and that is what drives the conversation. But really, there's no doubt, there's no dispute that we devastate this planet for our own gain.
And the places with severe pollution are being the hardest hit during this pandemic, I believe, because people have lung problems anyway, right? Wuhan, very polluted. The same in Italy.
Definitely. I mean, one of the big things that I argue about all the time with people that are skeptical of Extinction Rebellion is London's pollution rate and London's air quality.
All right, so can I put on my tinfoil hat and say, what about all the aluminum particles they used to, or the chemtrails, and now we're having respiratory disorder? I mean, some tinfoil hat wearers were thinking, well, I don't know if they're connecting it now.
Don't worry, Mac. The 5G is going to destroy the chemtrails. Don't worry about it.
I'm just putting theory on top of theory on top of theory.
I know. We're going to get all the 5G masts and just push them off the edge of the flat Earth, and that'll sort it.
Yeah.
In the chat, Hassan Radwan is saying, yes, I totally agree, Dardasha, and perhaps we can start to appreciate each other better. The nurses, doctors, shopkeepers, postmen and women, and delivery drivers, and all those people we ignore. Yeah, who knew who the real essential workers were?
Yeah.
Little did we know.
Yeah, and what worries me is I think in 10 years' time they won't have a job. These people will literally, from checkout people at the supermarket to delivery drivers to maybe even Uber drivers won't have a job. Taxi drivers, they might not be drivers.
In 10 years' time, why do any of us need a job? When I was young, I thought by the year 2000 we would all be having robots do everything for us anyway. Like Paulie on Rocky IV.
Like the Jetsons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were promised that.
We've been living in the sky, in the clouds, in a bubble like the Jetsons.
Yeah. Gentlemen, is there anything anyone wants to add before I clear the lines up for anyone else who wants to get involved?
No, well, I just wanted to have my theories out there, but it was nice to meet you, Tariq. And it was obviously a pleasure, Julian. I'll catch you lot in a bit.
Always.
Hopefully you listen to the show.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
care, guys.
See you in the chat.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful.
And thanks again for having us, Julian. I just want to say, in a world where Jeff Bezos has 147 billion, these people don't care about you. They don't care about you. And we have to make sure that our jobs are secured, or our livelihoods are secured. Job or what we consider a job today might not exist tomorrow. So what is the alternative? Because people like Jeff Bezos, they will leave us or scrap. They won't make sure that there's anything. And if you know the political systems that we run, the media we run with, who's going to stop him? I don't know. So I hope that we can get out of this and, hopefully with very few fatalities and move forward with, a brighter outlook that really pinpoints our problem.
I hope so. Tari, thank you for your call.
My pleasure. Thanks, Julie.
See you soon. Thank you. Off he goes to shave his head again. Yeah, great to have some positivity if we can. I know it's difficult. And realism and thinking about jobs of the future. What kind of jobs will there be? What kind of jobs won't there be? I'm sure careers advisors are reading a very different script these days than they would have been even 10 years ago. I mean, I work in schools, as some of you know, and young children are learning coding, which is a language I completely don't understand. It's something I could never have dreamt of doing, but it's this new skill that people need in the workplace. But we've got a caller. We just lost a caller. I think that might have been Brenda. Brenda's got a baby. Brenda, if you can call back, we'd love to hear from you, calling all the way from Alabama. But yeah, what a different world we have woken up in. And in the chat, and Lee Aylett is saying, Julian, you need to do this phone in earlier so that I can call in and rant about the effect of all this on small businesses. Yes, Lee. Yes, sir. I address Lee Aylett as sir because he is the instructor at Pro My MMA in Feltham, the finest mixed martial arts club one could wish to attend. And my goodness, small businesses must have been hit very, very hard by this. It's all right for those of us who are being furloughed, as a word that I learnt this week, or those of us that have managed to work from home. But what if you run a small business, a community-based business that depends on people's ability to pitch up and attend a workout, for example? And I know Pro My, along with other gyms, have done their best to adapt to any situation and have churned out content online, as I have, but it's not the same, and it is a very difficult time for the small businessman. Triple T is saying MMA sucks. I don't think you'd say that, Triple T. If you were on a mat or anywhere near Mr. Lee Aylett, I don't think you'd say MMA sucks. But I think Lee Aylett is such a nice guy. He'd probably catch you in a submission and give you the chance to tap out rather than put you unconscious. But yeah, small businesses are going to suffer, and I just hope when it gets back to normal, whatever normal is, we can all pick up where we left off with our MMA, with our salsa, whatever it is you enjoy doing. Hassan Radwan is saying, I think times like this remind us of what is really important: compassion and love, helping others and coming together, and putting our superficial differences aside. Yeah, absolutely. Apart from Spurs fans, only joking. Hassan Radwan. Hassan Radwan, how are you coping without football? And what do you think will happen to the Premier League? Will Liverpool ever get the chance to lift the trophy? Because, they may not have won. They could have lost 10 games in a row, and someone could have overtaken them. Triple T is saying, young people are strange and I'm being nice. Yeah, but we're all a bit strange. It would be strange if we weren't strange. And I will attempt to get on earlier just so we can do a discussion with Mr. Lee Aylett. That would be a good one. So lines are open if anyone else wants to get involved. Brian Cannot Tell is mentioning that enjoy being stuck in. Hard to keep teens at home normally. Yeah, a lot of people. Well, look, people that always used to stay inside and never went outside are now hanging about in groups just because they've been told not to. Rather like the kid who gets expelled from school and he never attended anyway, but then he shows up at the gates on the day that he's not meant to be there. The lines are free anyway if anyone wants to get involved. 07491 751 203. We're talking about what you will do as soon as this is over. Will it ever be over? 3 weeks. Does it feel like 3 weeks? Does it feel like more? Does it feel like less? Agam Pandit is asking me what are my views on David Icke. I like David Icke. Doesn't mean I have to agree with him all the time. I disagree with there being any connection between 5G and COVID-19 because that's what the facts tell me. I'm not saying 5G is a great idea, but the correlation between COVID-19 and 5G is only a correlation if you look for it. There are many countries where 5G was rolled out and they had no problem with coronavirus, and that for me is possibly a red herring, but I just don't think there's any connection between COVID-19 and 5G. Tadasha is saying, I feel for those who have kids and teenagers. We have to be so creative and make them feel loved at home. Yeah, teenagers are the worst, aren't they? They're the most difficult people, apparently. But we've got another caller on line 2. Who's this?
Hi, mate. My name's Triple T.
Welcome back, Triple T. How are you doing? What are your thoughts about life after COVID-19? What are you going to be doing? Skinny dipping on the beach?
I'm going to head back. I'm going to head back on my travels as soon as this is over. And I'm lucky I got one of the last flights back from Africa. Otherwise, I would have been stranded like so many of my friends are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue traveling. I don't see much of a future, although this is my country by birth, and I'm proud it is. I don't see much of a future for the little man, and I've seen that there is a bigger world past England. I've always seen England as the greatest country on earth, and in some ways it is, but even if it wasn't, I would probably say this because it is my home country, if you know what I mean.
Well, we're all getting patriotic now, Triple T. I can hear Land of Hope and Glory in the background. Where are you going first? Where's first stop when you're
patriotic? But I've spoken to many of my nonchalant, non-practicing Muslim friends, and everyone seems to be very religious, despite whichever faith they really come from. Especially my Muslim friends are very religious all of a sudden and partaking in all sorts of different prayers, which I respect and I honor them for doing so.
You think people have returned to faith because of the coronavirus?
Most certainly they have, and if they haven't, they certainly are thinking of heading back towards faith, because the statements that some of them have made, that the Prophet Muhammad said that these are the signs, and all the signs have come to pass. There's only one major sign, I think, that was left, according to Sheikh Imran Hussein, perhaps it was the Hajj being abandoned, and he said this a year ago. So he said the Hajj is going to be abandoned, and people laughed at him, called him an idiot. And ironically, the time now, in a couple of months, the Hajj is actually banned or abandoned, and it's going to be interesting what's going to happen.
And Sheikh Imran Hussein said that would happen.
He actually said this, if it wasn't 3 months ago, it was probably longer than that, but there is a clip of Sheikh Imran Hussein saying that the Hajj will be abandoned, and he asks the audience, how will they abandon the Hajj? What will happen? Why will people abandon the Hajj? And the answer from the crowd was that either there's going to be a major catastrophe, as in a war, there's going to be a huge war and it's going to be impossible for anyone to go anywhere, or there's going to be a virus. And he's clearly saying that there is going to be a virus, and this one was uploaded a couple of months ago, probably 3 months ago maybe.
Wow.
So he had a point. It seems that he wasn't as
a conspiracy theory crazy man that everyone thought. A lot of the things that he had said, even alongside that, have come to pass right now. So we shall see what's going to happen. I'm hoping they're going to open Hajj, because I've heard that Saudi Arabia is an amazing country. So I was looking forward to visiting it, if I'm honest with you.
Inshallah. We've got Hassan Radwan still in the chat. I'd love to ask him if he's returned to faith, as apparently so many people have during the coronavirus. A lot of people would start praying to God if you threw them out of the plane, even the most staunch of atheists. Hassan Radwan, have you returned to God? I'm joking, of course. That's Hassan Radwan's business. Faith is a very personal thing, isn't it? Faith is a very personal thing. And if we're all being a bit more spiritual, then that's a good thing.
The question there, sir, isn't if Hassan Radwan has turned to God, but has God turned to Hassan Radwan? Does God want him back in his faith? That is a bigger question, I think.
Well, when you take one step towards God, he does, what does he do? And Hassan Radwan is saying, I believe in God, but not a God who expresses himself through epidemics. That's a good point. Yeah, who's to blame for the epidemic, you religious people? Is it God punishing us? Is it the devil? What is it?
Well, what God do, or does someone worship in, if it isn't the God that gives life? God gives you life, and then he takes that same life away. So what God is there, or what thing is there that will let you live forever? There's no one that was born in the history of mankind, trillions of people, and there's not a single person alive now that can say, look, I have lived for this many years, thousands of years, and I'm still here right now. No one. We all come and we all go. That's just the nature of things.
I was thinking the other day, what if, and this is hypothetical, what if God didn't exist, but everything else did? And God was the only thing that didn't exist. Wouldn't that make him unique? Wouldn't that make him? Would that be the? Maybe that is the only thing worthy of worship.
Well, the thing is that we don't know. Once we're dead, we're gonna all find out. But in the meantime, I think it would be a good and a very wise choice for us to study the religious books. It would be a good thing, irrespective of your religion, and most of all, if we can learn one thing and keep it in our hearts, that look, before anyone is a Muslim or Christian or anything, we are all human beings. And if Jesus or Muhammad or Moses or even the atheist leaders were here right now all together on one stage, they would all ask for one thing, and that would be peace. So I think that's the most important thing. We shouldn't really be focusing on what our religion is, but what our goals are in life. Do we want peace? If we want peace, then let's come together. And if we don't want peace, then get the heck out of here.
Amen. Last question, Triple T. Where are you going as soon as it's over? What are you back to Morocco or somewhere new?
No, I'm gonna go to Kenya and then I wanna go to Saudi Arabia. So Kenya and Saudi Arabia.
I like the way you call it, Kenya.
Yeah, I've got too many Kenyan. It's a funny language.
I'm not going to argue with you. Is that Swahili?
Yeah, so and ironically, for me, Swahili, and you'll be surprised to know perhaps that it's very similar to Arabic. So I know you're fluent in Arabic, so perhaps for you,
I'm far from fluent. I'm about as fluent in Arabic as Borat is in English, but I'm getting there.
Oh, I disagree.
I'm practicing.
I think you're doing really well in Arabic, and very modest too. Very honourable of you, sir.
Thank you, my classmate. Triple T, we'll catch up soon. And thank you for your encouragement with doing these broadcasts. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, and thank you. And I thank all the people viewing this and listening. And remember, it's not long to go, only a couple of years, and everything will be back to normal. So keep smiling and keep happy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, a little bit of positivity there from Triple T. Yeah, the first 10 years are going to be the hardest, aren't they? After that, I'm sure it will all fly by. What will you do when this is over? Triple T is headed to Kenya in East Africa on the equator. What will I do? I don't know what I would do. I remember when I was young in the school days, during the exam period, a good friend and I Tom, hello Tom, I know he watches this, possibly. We would always plan, what will we do after the exams? After the exams. As if after the exams was going to be some superb golden era where we would just run around doing whatever we wanted. But I don't know if we did much in the end. I think we just sort of, we went to the Isle of Wight. That was fun. Which is where David Icke lives. Coincidence or not, I don't think I knew who David Icke was. But maybe I did. But yeah, after the exams, after Covid-19, Dardasha is asking, what will you do, Julian? One thing to keep and one thing to change. Well, I will keep broadcasting regularly at 10 o'clock on this channel. I'm trying to make that a regular slot. I can't complain if no one tunes in if I don't go at regular times. So we'll make 10 o'clock the time to broadcast, and whatever night we decide, we'll do that. What else will I change? I will appreciate the little things in life. Being able to go to the shops. You know what? I don't feel like I'm going to change that much. I think the different habits, the trying to be creative, the reaching out to people that you haven't spoken to for a long time. I hope we're going to keep all that. I hope we keep the new mindset that the things that matter are not money and possessions. They are the people in our lives. PSV Eindhoven is saying, you are starting to look like Charlton Heston from the Ten Commandments movie. Have I found God, or has God found me, or have I just not been to the barbers for a long time? Yeah, one thing. What will I do as soon as this is over? I'll get a haircut, but I'm tempted to cut my own hair, possibly. We've got another caller who's joined us.
Assalamu alaikum, it's me, Hassan. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Hassan, great. Thank you for calling. And I feel bad now. This is like when you see the guy in the street that you haven't said hi to for. I should have called you a long time ago to see how you're doing. But we'll do it here. How are you?
I've been busy. I'm sure you've been busy. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm fine. You keeping well?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. I am okay.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm okay. Despite all this, I think people, if you're prone to anxiety, it could be bad. But if you're stressed out anyway and you've got 100 things to worry about, sometimes it's better to just have one thing to worry about. So I'm trying to look at it that way. And imagine that life's just going to be fun and games after this.
Yeah, it's strange. I'm not actually that worried. I mean, I'm obviously, I feel for everybody, and I wish everybody well, and I hope everyone gets through this. And it saddens me to see, the death toll sort of rising. But for me personally, I'm not really worried. I mean, I carry on seeing my son, as you know. I go to see my son every day, and so I don't sort of worry too much. But I wanted to. The reason I phoned up was I wanted to tell you a story.
Brilliant. I hope it's about Johar.
Well, it's kind of actually it's a Jewish story. Somebody told me. And there was this man, and he was fed up with his life. He had a tiny little room, a tiny little house, and he had so many kids, and there was a noise all the time, and he didn't have any peace. And so he went to the rabbi and he said, "Look, I don't have any peace in my house. My house is too small. Everything, my life is so difficult, and I'm just miserable all the time." And so the rabbi said, "Okay, do you have sheep?" "Yes, I have sheep in the yard." And he said, "Okay, well, bring them into the house." And so he brought them into the house, and it started making things worse. And so he went back to the rabbi, and he said, "I'm going crazy. It's got worse. It's absolutely awful." And he said, "Okay, do you have any cows? And he said, yes. Okay, so bring the cows into the house. And so he did, and he couldn't move, and there was noise and mess, and so he went back to the rabbi, and he said, I'm going crazy. And he said, do you have any chickens? He said, yeah, well, bring the chickens into your house. So he brought the chickens into his house. I'm going crazy. He went back, and I'm going mad. Absolutely, this is awful. And he said, okay, take the chickens and the cows and the sheep out of the house and see what happens. And after a while, he went back to the rabbi and said, it's wonderful. Absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. But after, how long does that feeling last, I wonder?
Well, sometimes we need, I think we need a constant reminder.
Yeah.
A constant reminder that, as you say, those little things matter.
Yeah.
Family, love, compassion, our friends, those little people who deliver our letters and drive our cars and drive the buses and do all those things and those things that we take for granted. Just a smile, the Prophet ﷺ said, a smile is a charity. I've always loved that hadith.
Yeah.
And that's maybe just a little reminder that we need to look at those little things. And so I know this is an awful time that we're going through, but maybe some good will come. I believe some good will come from it. And I hope it will make people more compassionate, more caring, and bring people together.
Absolutely. Superb call, Hassan. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to give you a shout soon. Thank you very much. Aki Karim.
All right. Much love to everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Lovely chat. That is Hassan Radwan. He's in the chat at the moment. Subscribe to his channel. He was sharing some funny stories from Joha the other day, and that was a great call. Just remember this time, when the good times roll again, when we can watch our football, when we can do all of the things that we are missing at the moment, just remember this time how much we longed to have it back. And Dardasha is rightly saying good contribution from Hassan Redwan. Thank you. Yeah, I hope we will all be grateful after this. We've got Ramadan coming up. Those of you who are going to be fasting, Siyamul Maqbul to you. That'll be another unique period of time when everything is different, and afterwards people appreciate, or during the time rather, you're encouraged to appreciate how the poor feel when they are fasting, not voluntarily but because they don't have enough. So it's going to be a strange Ramadan when normally people would be gathering together. People will be, I suppose people will be doing it online, like everything these days. It's all online, but I hope that people still feel the benefit from it. Razwan Qureshi is saying, fantastic show, bro. Thank you, Razwan. Thank you very much. And any newcomers to the channel tonight, please don't forget to subscribe, and we'll do more of these. I really just wanted to, Hassan Radwan has summed it up, make us think about how much we will appreciate it. I remember about 3 years ago now, I broke my arm training for a match. I took a knock and got a fractured arm. The fight was cancelled, obviously, and so was driving for 2 months. I had my arm locked in place in a cast, and I really missed being able to go where I wanted to go, do what I wanted to do. I was reliant on friends that could pick me up, or I had to take public transport, and I just really thought, oh wow, I'm going to appreciate when I can drive, when I can work out, all the things I couldn't do when I had a broken arm. But it did sort of stick in my mind as just a different period of time. And there is that sense. I'm quite like Hassan Radwan, I'm quite calm at the moment. I was a bit shaky to begin with, but there is that sense that we are in the eye of the storm now. And the positives, the smiles from a stranger, like you mentioned, a smile could be a charity. Even at a distance, we're very cautious now of being 2 meters away from each other. Some people are standing about 20 meters away from each other. But because of that awareness of where we are in relation to other people, people are acknowledging each other and saying thank you and after you. We are becoming more communicative in some ways as we are less so in others. Rather like the cliche of the piano tuner often being a blind person, because the individual who's lost their sight will have more finely tuned senses. The ears will become better at differentiating between different notes. So maybe this is a time for us to hone the different senses that we may have lost during this strange period. It is a strange period of time, but we will get there, and I hope that these casual live streams, casual chats with a friend, I hope you see me as a friend now. How long have we been doing this channel for? Long enough. Hope it gives a little bit of positivity in your evenings. And as ever, if anyone wants to get in touch, lessonsforlife247@gmail.com. If you've got a particular topic or direction that we can go in. Dardasha is saying, I guess maybe screenshot and type the channel. Not sure what to advise on avatar. Oh, yeah, that's a question regarding joining other channels. Yeah, look, just subscribe to the channel if you can and share it. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all my callers this evening and contributors and watchers. And we will do this all again soon at 10 p.m. on Lessons for Life. It's been fun. We were here and we're gone. Latest.